Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be talking about our online Master of Science in Marketing and Data Intelligence. We have Dr. Pieter with us, who is the Academic Director of the program, and I'm Kiran, Hart, the Student Recruitment Manager for the Online Masters programs. Pieter will be covering the program-related questions, and I'll be here to answer anything about the application or admissions process. So some of the key features of the online master is you'll be learning from experts in the field. The academics have been teaching and researching about these topics in person at Erasmus University for a very long time. You'll have a very personalized and tailored experience. We expect no more than 30 to 35 students in the first cohort. This really means you get to tailor your experience and really be at the forefront of the program and create an experience and help us develop it. You'll be building your global network. You'll be studying with like-minded professionals all over the world, which is a really unique experience. And it is a flexible part-time format. So you'll be completing the master's over 2 years part-time so that you can continue working full-time or attending to your other responsibilities. And the best part of all is you can study anytime, anywhere. It's very flexible. You can choose to study when suits you. A lot of the content is available online, and you can make it work around your schedule. We have some live webinars, but if that doesn't work for your schedule, you can also watch those back at a later time. Over to you, Pieter.
Thanks, Kiran. Hi, everyone. Very nice to meet you. We're very excited about this new Master of Data Intelligence because it builds on key strengths of our faculty, the Erasmus School of Economics, and particularly that of two research groups that we have here. One of those groups is the econometrics group, which I'm a member of, where we have about 65 to 70 full-time faculty doing all sorts of research related to econometrics, which is a very specific term basically for the application of statistics to economic data. And then we also have a separate department in our school, which is highly renowned worldwide for doing leading marketing science research, so essentially focusing mostly on quantitative marketing research. So in this program, we will combine the strengths of these two departments. And we think this is really a very timely thing to do because, as you know, the world is moving towards being data-driven, and specifically in the marketing field, in the last decades, it's become clear that this is the way to go for marketing. So in this program, we will be leaning on this expertise that we have and that we also frequently discuss with individual faculty, links to corporates here in the Netherlands and Europe especially. So Kiran, if we can go to, so there are key ingredients to our curriculum here. The one fundamental one that we will see throughout all the courses in this program is data. Basically, data is evidence of things that happened, and from that we can learn how phenomena work, and having that knowledge we can predict into the future. And to extract insights from data, of course, you need analytical techniques, which is really the specialization of our econometrics department, researching, developing these techniques. But we've also learned that it's often not enough to just blindly apply methods. You should also think about how you understand the world, how marketing works, and what we've learned from 100 years of marketing research, and build that into how you approach your analysis, right? So this is the three key ingredients that we have in our curriculum, and the main focus then is to put all these together in a blender, basically, and on the other side, we are looking for insights that can lead to better business decisions. So here's the program structure and the curriculum. Our program is part-time, spread over 2 years. And the first year focuses mainly on, let's say, fundamentals and breadth in the program, whereas the second year is more about depth, right? So going deeper into specific topics. So our years are divided into quarters. You can see there's 7 courses here, and that's because course 1 takes 2 quarters, so half a year instead of just a quarter of a year. But all the other courses, course 2 to course 7, will be 3 months essentially, so a quarter of the year. And as I indicate here, a typical course would be running with 8 weeks of content, where we will study together basically for 8 weeks. And underlying all these courses, the main theme is gaining insights, predicting relevant marketing outcomes using data. Now, before I get into some of the details with these courses, I just want to point out what's at the bottom of the screen here. This is a fully accredited MSc degree, but one aspect that is quite unique to it is that there is no thesis requirement in this program, right? So a typical master degree requires students to write a thesis, a large end project to show their competencies that they've gained from the courses that they've taken. And the idea there is to, with such a thesis, is to check your performance across all the outcomes that the program promises. So in this program, we have an alternative system for keeping track of your performance on these program level outcomes, and we'll make that available to you through basically an online scoreboard or dashboard where you can track this, and this is then taking the place of the thesis. So that I think is also a nice feature, perhaps you can think for yourself, for post-experienced students or people like you who are working and are not necessarily interested in pursuing a PhD. This may be more appropriate than actually going through the whole process of writing a thesis, which in a master program typically is also preparing you for PhD research. Okay, so that's about the aspect of not having a thesis. Kiran, I just want to say a couple of things about these courses, if we can go back. Thanks. Yeah, so we'll start the program with the Foundations course, which is going to lay the platform for marketing theory, data science, data intelligence, and also AI. We follow that up by a deep dive of 8 weeks into machine learning methods. And then after that, we have a strategy course about marketing strategy, how to come up with company-wide strategies for marketing, right? Underlying all these courses then would be data-driven cases where you apply the learnings through analyses of data. And in this program, we will be using the software program R mainly for these analyses. In year 2, we do more specialized topics. The first course then is on how to manage a customer experience when you have the option of reaching them in different channels, online, offline, and all the variations within that. We then have course 5, which focuses on experimentation and personalization. In statistical terminology, this will also focus on causal inference, which is a very hot topic in econometrics. One of the recent Nobel Prizes in economics was awarded for contributions to causal inference. Actually, one of our alumni was one of the recipients of that. And so in this course, which we're quite excited about, we will focus on actually drawing causal conclusions from data. In course 6, it's all about measuring and understanding the effect of marketing interventions by your own company, by competitors on, for example, key performance indicators like sales, etc. And then in the final course, we take again a slightly broader look where we combine thinking about the future with aspects of marketing innovation, and also taking a look at what you may call key themes that's related to applying data intelligence in a marketing context, things like legal and regulatory restrictions, but also ethical aspects. And this is then our program. So now, Kiran, we may go to the next slide. I always want to give you a bit of a flavor of how a typical course will be structured, and then a little bit about how each week may look like. Okay, so I said a typical course, now that's course 2 to 7, they run for 8 content weeks, but we typically fit that into a 10-week quarter. So typically what that will look like is you start the course, you do 4 weeks of content, and then we have 1 week which doesn't introduce new content, but there you have the you need to work quite possibly together with your group of 3 or 4 other students on a project, right? So this means that for these 4 weeks you will have to make sure that you are sticking as well as possible to the content that we have put out for you to complete. But during week 5, it's a little bit less structured, and you can fill in the time a little bit more. Of course, you have then the obligation to work on this project, but you can also catch up on some work, or just take some time to focus on your real job. So, and then the second half of the course will do this again, 4 content weeks, and then at the end there will be, instead of now a group project, there will be an evaluation, which would be either in the form of an exam or an assignment that needs to be completed, and finally there's a reflection part. Now, this is the typical course of 8 content weeks. The first course will be double this, so we'll just do this pattern twice. Okay, so if we go on, Kiran, we can talk a little bit about what a week may look like. Yeah, so this is just an illustration of the type of workload and how it could be spread. Of course, as post-experienced students, people who know how to manage their own schedules, we fully expect and trust that you can manage and block your time as it's appropriate for you. And we also try to accommodate that by making the materials digestible in shorter pieces. So just take this as an illustration. If you look through this is a 7-day cycle. This is all asynchronous except for the live session that you see in day 5. So in the live session in day 5, that's really a time period of 90 minutes where we all will be in the same classroom in a meeting like this, but also where we can interact and discuss things together. So that 90 minutes in this example being on day 5, that's really where you would need to be available. But the other time you can schedule in between your work, in the evenings, in weekends, as it fits for you. Okay, so just talking a bit about what is on the slide here. Like in the first day of the week, we will introduce new content, and right off the bat, we'll ask you to share some information or insight that you have from your personal work experience. So this is also something that we're looking for when we're putting together the cohort. We're looking for a really international, diverse set of students who can really also help us to learn from you and learn from each other. So right off the bat, there may be a short class discussion where, for example, you make a little video and say, hey, this is what I think of this particular AI application in marketing, for example. Then typically there will be, in this example, I say 3 videos, could be 3, 4, 5, or 2 videos, which will introduce the content, which is basically a recording in a professional studio of a professor, could be me, could be one of my colleagues, explaining the key concepts for that week. And then once you've done with reviewing those videos, there would be a quiz or a small activity where you check your knowledge. So that would be the start of the week. The second day would be the second day could, for example, be to read more about these topics that were introduced, so more in depth or specific academic papers that relates to this. And that may take you, let's say, 5 hours or so. Before I go on then, in total, as was on the slide earlier when Kiran talked about it, we think this will take you 15 to 20 hours on average per week, right? So you can look at these numbers. They will differ per topic in terms of the time it takes you, and that depends a bit on your strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so on day 2 is a lot of reading involved. On day 3, we will always, in most weeks, we will have a data analysis, and we will start then, the way to teach this would then be, again, in the form of a coding tutorial, for example, where we have a data case study, and we, for example, look at how we can, for example, analyze a marketing mix data to come up with a good marketing strategy for a company. So this would be, on day 3, an example where we work through together asynchronously, so again, recorded videos and text you will go through in your own time to understand how to do this in R. On day 4, then this is the part where you and your peers, so other students, would need to take what you've learned on days 1 to 3 and apply your own thinking and own analysis to a different data set. This may take you 3 hours, and the idea then is quite often you will share your insights with a class. That could be by writing in an online discussion forum or posting there a short recording that you've made discussing your findings. On day 5, that's when we would, do 2 things. You would get access to the posts of other students, so learn about their thinking on the case study from day 4, and you can then provide feedback on that to them through the online learning management system. And then we'll also have a live session then where we're all together at the same time to for roughly 90 minutes to also dig deeper into the topics that we've covered up to that time. Then on day 6, we end the week basically with a reflection of the learning. There may be some 3 or so open questions for you to answer based on what you've learned in the week. That should take you about 1 hour. Day 7 is open, and you have some time to rest. Now, again, this is quite flexible, but it should give you an idea of the how this could go. In a typical week, you will have some flexibility to decide when you do what, right? So if you have a lot of time on day 1, you could do your reading also on day 1 and do nothing for this program on day 2, instead focusing on your work, right? So this will all be possible. Kiran, we can go to the next slide. All right. So here's a list of the faculty involved in our program. So we have professors with lots of experience, PhDs from all over the world: Chicago, I see St. Gallen, Cambridge, here from Erasmus University, and these are the experts that are ready to lead you through this program. More information will be available later on the website, I'm sure. Kiran, we can move on. All right, then the final part is like, why would you do this program, right? And I want to focus particularly on the fact that we think this is a program really for specializing in marketing and data intelligence, right? So it is a specialist program for people interested in focusing on making better data-driven decisions using sound marketing theory, academic literature, and advanced econometric or statistical models to get insights from data, right? So we're looking for people who have potentially worked in companies and realize, hey, there's a lot of value in data, but they don't necessarily have yet a formal, fully formed marketing education specialized to marketing around analyzing data, right? So this is really what this program focuses on. And it also fits into the greater trend that we see, and that's been started, let's say, a decade or a decade and a half ago, and is ongoing, which is really about focusing more and more to be data-driven, right? So traditionally, marketing was a lot about intuition and individual knowledge, and more, because marketing is an area where there's lots of information about customers, etc. This is a fruitful place for becoming data-driven. So what can it mean for your career? Well, this is, like I said, mainly about specialization. So it could lead to senior leadership roles, but then specifically to the marketing analytics field. So potential roles could be senior marketing analyst, head of marketing analytics, marketing data science lead, or business intelligence specialist, right? So some of you may wonder, how does this compare to maybe an MBA degree? I would just point out this is really specific about marketing data science, where MBA is about leadership, general view of a company, strategy across different finance, marketing, all sorts of other pillars within a business. This is really much more a marketing data science focused degree. This is what I have to add. Thanks for giving me the floor, Kiran. And if we get a chance to talk, then I'm more than happy to discuss with you your specific questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pieter. I'll be moving on into the admissions and application parts. We will be taking questions at the end, and you can also put your questions in the chat now if you have any burning questions. So For our online master, we require 3 years of relevant work experience. What that entails is we require you to have some statistics experience, some programming experience, and ideally some form of marketing experience. You need to have a bachelor's degree and also an English certificate with a passing grade. For more up-to-date admissions requirements, you can check our website. And for the application, you need the following documents. You need a motivation letter talking about why you want to apply and why you're motivated to study this subject, your CV, your degree, and transcripts. So in local language and in English translation, an English proficiency certificate, a valid passport or ID for EU or EEA applicants. There's an application fee of €20, and the tuition fee for the full 2 years is €19,000. So to finance your master's, we have different flexible options to invest in your future. This is a recommended payment plan that we have, dividing the 19,000 and with the deadlines for the next intake in February. You start with a 3,000 non-refundable deposit, and the rest of the tuition fees are split into €4,000 installments. We do offer scholarships of up to €2,000 off your tuition fees. Please note these are taken out in the last installment of your payment plan. You can see the scholarships and how to apply on our website. To apply for our scholarships, you need to create a short video and explain why you would like a scholarship and how you will benefit our RSM community, and especially joining the ESE school and a bit more about your experience. If you'd like more information, you can also contact us at our online master's email and we can get into more details. The online learning experience is just as valuable as the in-person studying experience at ESE and Erasmus. We really will be creating a sense of community with people from all over the world. There's lots of different forms of communication. It's not just sitting in front of a screen and being lectured at. There are lots of interactive activities to help you on your learning journey. There's the same student support available as there would be on campus, but on top of that, you have flexibility and accessibility. There are different assessment formats, as Pieter has mentioned, and there is a really nice international dimension to the program. So you really are meeting people from all over the world in your class, but also faculty members too. If you have any more questions, you can get in touch. Here's the online master's email that you can contact. You can download the brochure here as well for further information. And we'll be moving on to questions. So if anybody has any questions.
Yeah. Kiran, I think there's a question from Baldrick in the chat.
Yes. And the question is, what is the accreditation of the degree? Is it the same as on-campus degrees? Would you like to answer that, Pieter?
I can, yes. We're very proud to say yes, it's the same accreditation as on-campus in-person degrees. So this will be carry the same value as an Erasmus master degree that you do on campus full-time.
Thank you. Do we have some more questions? I actually have a question for you, Pieter, while we're waiting. So if I was really interested in this topic, but I didn't have all the relevant experience, are there any programs or short courses or anything you would recommend that I could follow to get to the right level?
Yeah, Kiran, great question. So in the admissions requirement, we have a certain number of European credits that are needed for from your bachelor degree then to enter into the program. One of them, and the most strictest requirement, is 10 credits related to statistics and research methods. So we really, on those 10 credits, we expect to see relevant courses from your bachelor transcripts, which encourage us that you have the equivalent training that a bachelor student from Erasmus University would have in statistics in particular. And that's just because we will start off the bat by reviewing some statistical concepts, but the entire program is really about analyzing data. And so we really want to see some, well, make sure that you are prepared for the learning that we will see in that domain. So in that case, really, there's no possibility to compensate these credits. Of course, every student will go through interview process and we can discuss and so on this with you. But then there are requirements about business and marketing related courses. We have a 5 credit requirement for that. And on that dimension, the admissions criteria is a bit more lenient. It says if you have relevant experience in marketing functions, but you didn't necessarily take marketing courses during your bachelor degree, then you could still very much satisfy this requirement. So on that dimension, it is it's easier to compensate. And then we can also advise you then, if you want to prepare for this this master, I mean, we start with the next cohort in February. There would also be relevant online courses, for example, through Coursera, etc. Some by our university, some by other universities that we can point you to help you prepare with that. But that would really be a discussion with you individually. And the same applies to the programming component, right? In that space, essentially, there are also many online courses. Some of them we would be satisfied with, some of them not, and we can point you to the ones that we would be satisfied with you, showing your ability to learn programming concepts using completing those courses, let's say on Coursera also. So that is clear, but also clear from this should be that we are really looking forward to meeting all of you, going through a discussion with you and seeing how you fit our program.
Thank you. I see we have some questions in the chat. If I already have a master's degree, do I need to submit my master's transcript, or my bachelor's transcript will also be required? Please do submit your bachelor's transcript as well. If you're missing anything, you can always upload that later. But my suggestion would be apply with whatever you have, and we are quite quick with our turnaround, so we can let you know if anything's missing. And the next question, my past courses don't include math and programmatics, but it is heavy on management and marketing. Am I still eligible to apply?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I would encourage you to still apply. We would want to have a discussion with you about exactly what you covered in your program, your previous programs, whatnot, and then especially the programming part. I think there would be steps that you can take to prepare for the program, like taking online courses, which can help you compensate for this. We're a bit more stricter on the statistics requirements, so there would be based on exactly both what you've learned in your studies, but also perhaps what role you have been fulfilling in your current job or jobs since graduating, and how that relates to statistics in particular.
Thank you. And the next question, if you have a career break, does it reduce the chances of getting in? Absolutely not. As long as you have at least 3 years of relevant work experience, you would be eligible to apply. And the next question, my admissions colleague will respond in the chat to you. Do we have any other questions? Will this program be the first batch? Yes, the February intake will be the first cohort of this online master, but we have, well, Pieter has lots of experience at ESE teaching these subjects in person. Do you want to elaborate a bit more on that?
Yeah, I mean, we will, like I said, the following, we start in February with the first cohort, and then after that, we will have a cohort every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And that if you do have a delay, like was mentioned earlier, then you could always just, we have the flexibility then that maybe you can jump, if the delay is during your studies, that you can jump to a different cohort. So that gives us also a lot of flexibility. I mean, the program itself, I can give a bit of context why we ideally pick this program. One is, of course, combining the strengths of our departments that we have here, but also preparing people better for data-driven marketing, which we've seen has become very important. And I can also mention, if you look at the Erasmus School of Economics on-campus programs, then we have essentially a sister program of this program that we're talking about today, that runs full-time on campus. So most people that will be teaching online have already on-campus, extensive on-campus experience of teaching subjects related to this. Now, again, then you can say, hey, how's that different from, how's this program different from the on-campus program? Well, we are lucky that we're in a position where we have time and funding to prepare a completely new program. And we have taken care to redesign or actually develop every course in this program over from scratch. There will, of course, be some similarities with the on-campus program, but we're really excited about the innovations that we can bring in the online program. And then eventually we think that will feed back into the on-campus program. Now, this program that I'm mentioning is called, the on-campus program is the Data Science and Marketing Analytics specialization of our master in economics and business, I believe, at the Erasmus School of Economics. So you can look at the sister program also on our website for the on-campus version, Data Science and Marketing Analytics. Thanks for the question.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions? And I would also suggest, if anybody is, oh, can you hear me?
Your volume is very low now.
I apologize for the technical difficulties. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but it's very quiet for some reason.
Okay. Does that make a difference? No.
Not really, but we can hear you if we listen carefully, I think. So if
Okay. Well, I'll do my best. As I was trying to say, if you're in doubt or you're not sure about your background, you can always send us your documents and before you apply, and we can review and see if you're a good fit. You can also reach out to me for an advisory call if you want to discuss this in more detail. I'll put the link in the chat if you are interested.
Yeah. So if I may quickly repeat, just to make sure everybody heard clearly, we are very happy to engage with you, to talk to you about your file and see if that's a good fit. You can reach out to the online master email address or to Kiran directly. Or there's a link in the chat where you can schedule an advisory call with Kiran and colleagues directly. So please do that if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Oh, there the audio's back for some reason.
Oh, it's back. Okay, good. This does happen sometimes. Oh, we have another question. Will there be a difference on the certificate about taking an online program versus offline program? I can answer that. So on the diploma, it won't mention that this is an online master's, but in your grade transcripts, it will mention that this was an online program. I'll give it about another minute to see if we have any other questions. And if not, you can always reach out to us after this. Peter, I actually have another question for you. Some questions that I always get are, will there be faculty members from outside of the university coming in to give guest lectures or certain topics?
Kiran, interesting, nice question. So we have at least one external faculty member who will help deliver one of the courses. But besides that, there will also be guest lectures. But then, okay, so this is an online program, so the lectures may be pre-recorded and not synchronous. So we're for example, in a few weeks' time, we're getting our next recording session is with a chief marketing officer of a luxury goods brand here in Europe, and we will record basically a guest lecture with her here on campus. But then that will be asynchronous in the sense that you will be able to watch it back as part of your learning materials, but not ask any questions because it's not in a live setting, right? So I think we also want to incorporate synchronous live lectures, but on balance, I think there will be more asynchronous pre-recorded guest lecture sessions in the program. Hope that helps.
Yes, thank you. Really nice that they can watch that at their own pace. So the flexibility is always a plus. Okay, well, if we don't have any other questions, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Peter, for helping us share the information about the program. If there are any other questions after this, please get in touch and we'll do our best to help you. And hope you have a lovely day.
Thanks, Kiran. Thanks everybody for joining.